All right, let me know if you can see me and hear me. This is the first time I'm going live doing this, so I just want to double check that I am actually live because I have no idea if this thing is working or not. Let's see. Okay, I see that I'm live. And if you see me, please let me know. Please just pop in a comment for me so I can see that it's working. This is going to be a bit of an experiment. So thank you for doing this with me. Let me just make sure I go over here. Okay, I'm live. Awesome. Now I have to figure out like how I can read the damn comments so people can ask me questions. I thought I had set this up and tested, but I did not as well as I thought. But that's okay. I know. I need to do one more thing, actually. Decided to change the monitors last minute. So let me see if this is going to be better. Cool. All right. I can see stuff now. Okay. So as you can see, I am going to be playing. Don't know why that happened. Cool. This is a bit of an experiment, like I said, and I'm just having fun with this. What I thought would be super fun is I'm really into video games. I play a lot of video games from, as you can see, Age of Empires, city building, The Sims, into really fantasy-based RPGs like The Witcher, God of War, Assassin's Creed, Skyrim, and all that good stuff. And my mastermind suggested to me recently, well, why don't you just go like hang out with your people and answer business questions while you play video games? I was like, that sounds like a complete crazy idea, and it sounds super fun. So let's do this. I know this is like a super old school game, but it is one that I love. And I always play as Turkey as well. She need to change the name because I'm playing under Michael's name. I know if you've played this before, but if you have, let me know. And let me just make sure, where can I see the comments? Why can I not see comments? Inside here, where I feel like I should be seeing comments, but I'm not seeing comments. So that is a little annoying. Let me see here. Yo, if you're watching this video live, can you comment? Okay, now I'm seeing like Emma. Hi Emma. Gidra is here. But I can't see the comments until I'm over there, so I'm going to figure that out next time. I've got bosses in Europe open here. So, and if you have questions for me, like let me know. I'm happy to like talk about business, strategy, whatever, what's working in the industry, what's not working. By the way, like I play a lot of video games. That does not mean I'm actually getting good at them. So I'm just warning you there. With that. Also wondering why the sound's not working. I'm just gonna double check if I can get the sound working over here. The sound is on and I'm not hearing anything. Music is on, sound is on. No sound for me. So we will see that again, figure it out next time. Like I said, giant experiment. So now I know I had to figure out how I can see comments because I tested this with a different platform earlier. You can hear the game music. Okay, I cannot hear the game music. So this is like, this is what I do for fun. I go and play things like Age of Empires. And I'm quite curious if I can like play this game without getting my ass completely kicked. Or I mean, if I get my ass kicked, like I don't really care that much, but still like be able to answer business questions and talk business. So yeah, I have some questions up here. I've got some questions people have asked me like I pre-submitted that I kind of want to talk through. but I'm also open to any other questions if you have here. If you are watching this live stream and you have questions, I think the best thing to do if you want to go into my Bosses in Europe and Beyond Facebook group, because that is where I'm seeing the questions pop up, and I'll figure out next time how I can see all of them. So Geezer has a good question. She says, can we talk about your hobby of playing video games is helping you as an entrepreneur? How is gaming similar to running a business? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a good question.
Evet.
I think
Yapı ustası.
I play video games a lot to decompress. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. So sometimes it's like, okay, I'm tired, it's been a long day, I'm just gonna want to go chill and play some games. And that's great. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm stressed out and, you know, trying to do a million things, and now I'm gonna go like numb my thoughts by playing a stupid game
Hazır. Toplayıcı.
while watching Downton Abbey at the same time and occasionally playing Candy Crush on my phone. Is it ADHD overstimulation much? I think that one thing I've really found in my journey is in entrepreneurship, especially in the last 2 years, where I basically have like experienced a lot of quantum growth, and you know, going from like under 6 figures to multi 6 figures, having a lot of issues with like first building out a team of 7 people and then firing everyone and doing it solo and just shifting business models and having a lot of still issues around chronic illness and things like that. I think it's not just like the quantum growth and the good things that have come with it, but it's also a lot of the growing pains that have been like real and are real at the same time. Not just the fun, oh my god, more money and clients and whatever. It's been resilience, and it's been really experimentation. I think this is a really good example. So one of the reasons I wanted to do this experiment with this game is to be able to see my own business more as an experiment, as a more of a fun game of, it doesn't always have to be this big serious thing and look at me, I'm such an expert all the time, which I feel like I've kind of really tried to get into that mode a lot in the last, you know, year or two, and don't really like it. It's not my favorite.
Evet.
So I think seeing things as fun, in your business, I think is really important. Like I used to really think about strategy. Like it's strategy and just do the thing and like follow the strategy that you've picked out for yourself, which is true, and I think that's a big part of it as well. But I think that, especially with how I've grown in the last like year or two, it's not just about how can I, you know, make more money and get more clients and be the authority and be the person that people look up to, which I feel like there's a lot of how would I say it, like peacocking in the online industry. I don't know, like, do you get me? Like, I don't know, can I say this on the stream? I'm gonna say it on the stream. Like, hide your kids. It's a bit of a dick swinging contest sometimes, like who's got the bigger one, and like I had this lunch and I had this thing, and sometimes I'm just like, just piss off, shut up, just do your thing. And I think that part of that is also like, oh no, I'm gonna die.
Tamam.
Run away. Okay, I'm gonna run away for a second.
Tamam.
Yeah, I'm like this, getting my ass. I'm gonna get my ass kicked in this game, aren't I? And hi, Katie. Nice to see you here. So, I think it's really important to also have some fun with this and look at how can you stand out more. What are elements of your personality that are interesting? What makes you quirky? Not just all the educational stuff, but also looking at how can things just be fun. Okay, thank you. I need to put my... Guys, if by the way the sound is too loud or anything, then let me know. I'm now just putting the sound down a little bit of the game. Let me know if that's better. Okay, I'm getting instructions here behind the screen. Okay. Um, cool. So I think that it really is about like how do you stand out? How do you have fun with your business? Like how do you still grow your authority and like be seen as that expert, but at the same time, how do you become the only option
Evet.
for your clients? And becoming the
Satıcı.
only option for your clients honestly is about connection. So it's a very, very roundabout way of kind of answering Geether's question, which was about my hobby of playing video games and how is that related to business. Um, and I think the other thing was as well that it's all an experiment. Like one of my mottos is test it, tweak it, try again. And I use that motto because I am a massive perfectionist about things
Selam.
and I get really
Satıcı.
caught up when I feel things aren't good enough or things should be better. And I can get really into
Evet.
my own head when actually it just doesn't
Yapı
matter.
ustası.
And if something doesn't work, you're going to try it again later and do it better. And that's kind of all you have to strive for, and that's all you have to try. I don't know if that was helpful or interesting to people as you watch me get my ass kicked because, you know, obviously
Selam.
I'm like trying to think about stuff and
Oduncu.
play the game at the same time. So, yeah.
Selam.
But anyway, it's the reason I'm not a gamer. I like play a lot of games. I'm just do it for fun. Jackie! Amazing! Awesome that you're here. So if anyone's here, you don't know who I am. My name is Maggie. I'm a business and marketing strategist. So I help coaches, consultants, and service providers get more clients, grow predictably, and eventually scale the way they want to live a sustainable, predictable, profitable business and life of freedom. One thing that really drives me is helping people, especially women, have money to have the power of choice. So one of my goals is to get 10,000 business owners to $100,000 in profit per year. That's my mission. I don't know if that sounds like something that you're up for as well, but that's something that I feel really, really strongly about, that everyone should have. Options, really. It's about limitless possibility. It's about like being able to make decisions that you want in terms of living a different life or moving country or quitting a toxic job or getting out of a toxic relationship or whatever that is. And if you have control of your finances, you can do that, and it gets a lot easier. So that's something I really believe in. And yeah, if you need help getting more clients predictably, consistently, or if that looks like scaling a team, building in automations and systems, or growing your visibility and authority, then go to maggiegill.com/game-plan or comment below, and I'll send you a link to book in a game plan call where I'll go over your business. I'll use my little audit sheet that I have to look at your profitability, at your money map, and so on, and I'll give you some tips on how you can, what you can do differently to get to your goal. Jackie, you may do this with Apex Legends. I'm not sure I could stop my potty mouth in between marketing advice. Did you not hear me talking about how the online industry is all like a giant dick swinging competition? Yeah. There's a reason. So I was like, I got this idea when I was in Miami like 2 weeks ago for my mastermind, and my question there was, you know, how do I, but it's gonna be a little bit. So my strategy with Age of Empires is to go and like kill all the villagers. That's how I do things. Lost my train of thought here. Hold on. Okay, I've got to build a house. I've got to build my little army thing. And then I can go back to like think about strategy. So I was in Miami 2 weeks ago, and my question really was, hey, like how, you know, what are some ways I could connect a little bit more to my audience online? I feel like there's more I could be doing that I'm not doing. I'm not really sure, you know, what direction I should kind of go in next, because I always have like a million ideas, and it's just a story of my life. And so I'm sitting in this mastermind, and it's like they're all like 7-figure, multi-7-figure, 8-figure entrepreneurs. Like some names you definitely know are in that room, or like the businesses they stand behind. And then, we were having this discussion about, I was doing the hot seat, and then like someone suggested, like, listen, like you're a quirky person, you're an interesting person,
Selam.
you play a lot of video games. Why don't you start
Oduncu.
playing video games and just streaming yourself and then talking business and answering questions? I was just like, I looked around the room, I was just like, are you joking? And everyone was just like, nope, that's a great idea. You should definitely do it. I was just like,
Now I know where you are hiding. Your town
okay,
shall be my prey.
I can do that. So for me, it was also looking at like what kind of game can I play that like I enjoy, I can still have fun with, that is easy enough that I can play and like not go completely crazy swearing at. Because I play a lot of like fighter games like RPGs like Assassin's Creed or The Witcher or something with like or Elden Ring, which is like a lot of fighting and battling enemies. I was like, I cannot do that and have a halfway decent conversation about business. And lovely to see here. She says this is the best thing. That's great. If you have questions for me, I think you want to like kind of pick my brain on, this would be a really good opportunity to do that. And let's see, someone else. Geezer asked something else. Geezer asked like, you asked what kind of game I would recommend. Probably Age of Empires. Like honestly, I'm playing Age of Empires 3. I know there's a 4 one that I am sure I've played, but I don't know. This is like my super chill go-to game. It depends like what you like. Like I'm a huge fan of RPGs. I've been playing the Hogwarts Legacy one that came out as well, which is pretty good. My favorite one, so Michael just put that. Oh my gosh, Michael just put that. That may be a game I'm gonna play as well here. It's called like it's Pharaoh Cleopatra. It's a very, very, very old school game, like super old school. And I still love it, and it's like the best thing ever. And you build like a city in Egypt, but you have to like sort out the logistics so that each person can kind of like the farmers can develop into whatever because they have all the resources they need.
Tamam olur.
So that's a super fun game. Yeah, let me just double check, because I know I'm streaming in multiple places, but I can't see the comments, which is super frustrating. I'm seeing the comments in Bosses in Europe, so if you are watching me on social, then here we go. Ooh, and I see other Wally. Wally's here. Hi, Wally. Age of Empires. There we go. Cool.
Hazır.
What am I doing with these guys? And I'm under attack. Woohoo! Okay.
Avcı.
Yeah, that's not going well, is it?
Emrin tamamdır. Hadi bakalım.
This is not going well. But it's okay.
Yapı ustası. Yapı ustası.
Hazır. Yapı ustası.
Selam. Hazır. Yapı ustası.
I also play a lot of Candy Crush Saga. I think I'm on level 4000.
Evet. Yapı ustası.
So, there's that. I always like have to uninstall it, so now it's actually uninstalled off my phone, and then I have a phase where I install it again, then I regret everything. So no, I have not played Momentum Valley. Haven't heard that actually. Yes, Lucy. I was playing Pharaoh Cleopatra last night. It's one of my favorite games, and I always have a phase that I go through that I keep playing that again. But I really like Gage's questions, like kind of, I keep thinking about that. She was asking about how do you kind of see business and playing video games. Isn't it awesome being in a business group live stream and talking about games? Yes.
Selam. Hazır.
Even though I don't think I'm gonna win this with how things are going, but we'll see. I need to go attack some villagers.
Evet hadi bakalım.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
Evet. Hazır.
So, I think with like business, you really have to see things as
Hazır.
a game.
Yaralıyım.
And I think it's like this, I don't know, maybe you guys can like help me out here because I always feel I don't know how to express this. There's a lot of chat online in the industry about like alignment versus strategy. And I get both sides, and I definitely consider myself a strategist, but I do think things have to feel in alignment at one point as well, as in like this. I was like, cool, this is easy.
Hazır.
If this doesn't work, that's fine, but I'm happy to try this out and test it out. And if I have fun doing it and I just talk to people and it doesn't take me too much energy, cool. Like that works for me. But I think a lot of people talk along, especially like in the, I don't know how to call it, like the spiritual side of the online business world, and or there's like a lot of like the spiritual side of business coaches kind of online world space where people talk about if it's like not in alignment, you shouldn't do it, which I think is like the absolute biggest load of like bullshit ever. Because when you're doing something new, it is going to be uncomfortable. Like that's a fact. The next time or the first time you invest in like a new coach, a new mastermind, you decide to go to an event, you decide, this was uncomfortable. Do you know how long it took me to just figure out how to use freaking OBS, and it didn't even like work properly because I'm not reading the comments the right way and I can't hear the sound of my own game? Like, it's not a big deal, but everything takes effort. Again, this is my strategy: kill all the villagers, so then now I disrupt their supply and logistics, and then it's easier for me to build my army and to the world. Woohoo! Hashtag not a psychopath. And they're doing the same thing to me.
Hadi bakalım. Evet. Hadi bakalım.
So I think there's like, do things have to be in alignment? No, I don't think so. I think that things are always going to be uncomfortable. I think that's something that we should all just embrace, that hey, you're doing something new, you're trying to grow. Yeah, it is uncomfortable and there's nothing wrong with you for that. Like it's fine. It's okay if you're uncomfortable. It's okay if something's scary. It's okay if like I've had some things like there were things I just didn't want to do, but I knew like I have to do them because I want to get to the next level. And for me, here's my comfort zone, and this is fine. It's comfortable because I've done it before. And here's the stuff that I haven't done, so they feel uncomfortable. They feel like not in alignment, whatever you want to call them. But if I want to go from here to here, part of that journey is, well, I have to just get over myself and try those things. And then you can see I'm trying them. Is the discomfort lessening or is it increasing? Right, so when I first tried cold calling, I did it for 3 days. I did do it. I I literally had a list. I was calling up companies. It's an absolute fucking nightmare, but I did it. At the end of the second or third day, I like literally had a hysterical meltdown and just like cried my eyes out about how stressful it was. And then I was like, cool, maybe that's not the best direction, but I did try it. So that's a bit more of an extreme example. But I do really believe in trying things out. Even this, like, this is not super comfortable. You know, I'm like trying to concentrate on the game to like not get my ass kicked and not be like publicly embarrassed. I'm trying to concentrate on like what I'm saying. There's a lot of tech set up. Things still aren't working properly, which is fine. I'll sort them next time. But it's like not everything has to feel absolutely magical and in alignment all the time. That's just not how life works. And I feel like we're being fed this kind of
Hazır. Selam.
I don't even know what to call it, like this trope that everything has to feel super, super great all the time, which I think, like, I'm sorry, as someone who's like grows a lot and tries to grow, you're gonna like part of growth is just feeling uncomfortable like all the damn time.
To lack direction. Where are they going?
Lucy says, for me, the alignment talk doesn't mean to do uncomfortable things. I believe it means to be congruent with your values and vision long term. I absolutely agree. Like, that is what alignment should be. But a lot of people are using, oh, it's not in alignment as an excuse not to do certain things that will actually help them grow and get to that next level. And that's where I think it's really dangerous, that people can just go, oh, I don't want to do that, it's not in alignment. I'm like, well, okay, but then you're not going to grow, you're going to stay where you are, which you don't like being in. So it's a choice. Do you want to stay where you are with the problems that you have? Or do you want to take that next step, even though it's going to be uncomfortable, to say, yes, I'm ready, and let's go do this. Melody, can you play Age of Empires on PlayStation? I don't think so. Gidra, I feel like you asked another question that I've missed. And Melody asks, how about bringing some play and game mindset to business? I like that question.
Evet, hazır.
So that's kind of what I'm doing here, because that's something I feel like I've kind of honestly lost
Tamam, olur.
in the
Emre?
last year or so, and I shared this a few days ago, that I
Hadi.
got, the last year, seriously, the last year has been so much growth. I had $124,000 a month. I got to multiple six figures. Hiring, firing, taxes. We've gone through 4 accountants in 13 months.
Hazır.
Um,
Evet.
just there's been a lot of stuff
Anladım.
happening. Just stuff that like drained me.
Evet.
That wasn't fun.
Hazır.
Building infrastructure, building
Tamamdır.
systems. For fuck's sake.
Hadi bakalım. İleri.
So I've been doing like a lot of stuff that drained me, and that's kind of when I realized, well, actually, I'm not feeling the way I want to feel about my business,
Emrin?
and something's missing, something needs to be adjusted, because I used to feel a different way. I don't feel the same way anymore, although I love what I do. So like when I'm with clients and when I'm helping people, like I love that, but I'm no longer feel that excitement for my business that I used to. So this is kind of like a conversation I've had
Tamamdır.
a while back, and part of that was, well, I stopped doing the things that I just thought were super fun,
Evet.
thus like the video games, because it's
Tamamdır.
just like, okay, you want to come hang out with me and watch me play Age of Empires or like Pharaoh or Cleopatra,
Hadi bakalım.
or The Sims or whatever,
Kıpırdayamıyorum. Tamamdır. Hadi
while we kind of go back and forth and talk
Evet.
business. Cool. I'm
İleri.
okay with that. Sounds fun. Let's see, here we go. Cool. So I'd love to hear from you guys.
Tamamdır.
It's like a typical sounding question, but I would love to know, like, what's like the biggest challenge that you're dealing with in the business
Hadi
right now?
bakalım. Evet.
Because that will kind of give me some talking points as well on what could be helpful for me to kind of, just share my thoughts on over here.
Hadi bakalım.
Um,
Tamamdır.
and we can kind of go from
Hadi
there.
bakalım.
And I'm getting attacked again.
Evet.
Awesome. My explorer's dead again. Great. No population room. Even better.
Emri.
Evet. Yapı ustası.
Houses.
Yapı ustası. Yapı ustası. Yapı ustası.
Evet.
Emrin?
Let's build. What do we need? We need gold. Cannot have gold. We'll get some gold over here.
Satıcı.
Gidra, I loved the magic and unicorns and gaming references you were dropping all over the internet years ago. Bringing that back. That is what I'm bringing back, Gidra, and it's so, like, it's so funny, I think.
Evet. İleri.
And that kind of came up in my mastermind recently as well, because someone said, like, why aren't you, using all these like Harry Potter references and Lord of the Rings references and video games? And I was like,
Yapı
I actually
ustası.
used to do that.
Yapı ustası.
Why did I stop? And I, like, on the flight back from Miami, I was like literally thinking, why did I stop doing that? What was the reason? Why did I stop doing that? And I remembered, must have been like 2-3 years ago, when I was kind of doing a shift in the business, and I wanted to be seen as a lot more premium and be, raising my prices and like just work with like a handful of clients in a really deep level. And I had this call with like a business coach about like, hey, what can I do to kind of shift my positioning and be seen as more premium? And one of the things that coach said was, well, you've got this unicorn as your logo, you've got all these gaming references. That's kind of childish. That would be a turnoff. And I think I internalized that so much that I didn't even realize that was a big reason I moved away from all these things. When actually that's all things that really help me stand out and be memorable and not be like a hashtag basic bitch business coach trademark. And I think that's like the danger when you're just sharing content and where you're just sharing like education and just trying to like
Evet. Evet.
fuck off.
Tamam olur.
Can we go rescue
Hazır.
them?
Tamamdır. Evet.
Yes, we'll go rescue them.
Tamamdır.
So I think when you're like just sharing education content and just like that authority building content, you can really quickly get into this space of becoming seen as a commodity and becoming seen as like everyone else, and there's no actual
Emrin.
um
Yapı ustası. Evet.
Hazır. Emrin?
you don't
Haydi
stand out. You're
bakalım.
not interesting. And at the end of the day, like
Satıcı.
when you're selling something, even when you're selling like mentorship, you're still selling connection.
Hazır.
Like people need to
Doğru.
connect with you. Sounds like your business mentor is jealous of your originality.
Tamam,
I
olur.
mean, maybe like I don't know. It wasn't even like it was just a one-off call. It wasn't even like a long-term relationship. And I didn't even realize how much I had internalized this until like literally fairly recently. After having this conversation, I'm thinking, like, why? What did I change? So I have some like really fun ideas on. I mean, this is obviously like one of those things, but like I'm super into gamification. I really like having fun with stuff. I have a really probably terrible sense of humor off my husband. And I think, you know, I swear fairly regularly. I'm not really super shy about that. And those are all things that kind of make me me. And if we work together and you know you join my Evergreen Empire program where we help you get more clients, or you join my Leverage Mastermind where you're going from 6 figures to beyond, or we work together privately and you get support from my team and to like do stuff for you or with you.
Hücum.
You need to connect with. Oh no, we're not going that way.
Tamam,
Ooh.
olur.
Run away. Run away.
Selam.
You need to connect with me. Like we need to connect as human beings, and I think that's really where all, for lack of a better word, that's where the magic happens. Okay, I need to actually go up right now.
Great Britain feels it
Yeah.
necessary to inform
So
you that
Lucy,
your trading
you have a
post
really
is
good
no
question here.
more.
Lucy says, my biggest challenge. Hold on, before I die.
Emrin.
Hazır. Çiftçi.
I just want to clarify because someone commented this when I had this idea. When we work together, I don't play video games while I'm coaching you, or I don't play video games while like I'm not on my phone playing Candy Crush or like playing Age of Empires on the screen when we're like actually working together. This is like a fun thing I'm doing here.
Evet. Selam.
Just to kind of put that on the table.
Çiftçi. Hazır.
So let me see. We've got a few people asking
Evet.
questions.
Tamamdır.
I need to make sure
Evet. Hadi bakalım.
that my town doesn't die
Emrin.
while I answer that.
Yapı
So
ustası.
we do it this way.
Emrin. Evet.
Okay. So Lucy said, my biggest challenge is getting clarity so I can start pouring my energy into building my new life. I'm in a transition from full-time photography as a service to something. And as I have too many ideas from where I can go, I overthink it, as I also don't want to trap myself in a business model that will lead to burnout again. Yeah.
Evet. Hazır.
Been there, done that, got the postcard.
Bakalım.
I mean, I think my question for always for these things is, what do you actually want? Because like the business model stuff, like you can shift it. Like I shifted 2 years ago, and it was actually not as difficult as I thought it was going to be. It was just like, hey, people, I'm no longer doing this thing. If you want this result, here's the way you can go get it. You want it? Great. Here you go.
Hücum.
You know, it doesn't have to be that complicated. And I think a lot of the time, like we're overthinking stuff, and we're really looking at how will we be perceived when people don't really care.
Hazır.
When people are just like living their own lives and doing their own thing, and we're not really on their radar as much as we think we are.
Şimdi
If that makes
tamamdır.
sense. So,
Hadi bakalım.
I don't know if
Tamamdır.
you know your Kolbe score, Lucy. Kolbe. But I would have a look at that because I think that would be quite interesting for you to see, like, are you a quick start? Because I am. So I'm very, very good at starting things. Like, very, very good, very quick at starting things, drafting things. I can pull things together to draft really easily. But I am terrible at finishing stuff. Like,
Hazır. Hadi bakalım.
getting a project to a conclusion is like pulling teeth for me. Because then I go into like, yeah, but is it good enough? And is it this? And like, what if? And maybe we should change it. And so I've had to like come up with ideas and like
Yapı ustası.
tactics for myself to get over myself and put things out there. So for example, one of the things I've realized is if I take too long with an idea,
Trading post in the middle of my empire anyway.
it's really hard for me to finish it. Which means I have to get things out the door faster.
Emrin. Evet.
It's like with this idea, it's been from idea to like me doing it live in about 10 days.
Tamamdır. Hadi
And it was
bakalım.
just like, cool, what do we need? Cool, we need a graphic, we need to figure out
Hücum.
when we're doing it, we need to figure out like do some promo about this, we need to get people on the stream, we need to figure out the tech, and then we go set a date in the calendar and go try it out. pretty straightforward. I
Tamam olur.
don't know if that's helpful at all, Lucy. Let me know. I'm happy to kind of go into this more as well. Gidra says, I'm pivoting, going from doing business consulting and getting clients through referrals to offering workshops and services to online entrepreneurs and getting clients through social media. So my main challenge is how to consistently build an audience online from scratch while balancing home life with a newborn. So congratulations on the baby, first of all. Secondly, it sounds like we should probably have a deeper conversation because this is what I do. And as much as I would love to solve problems in a gaming live stream, probably can't do that. I give you ideas and suggestions and brainstorm with you, but to actually solve it, I'm good, but I'm not that good. So your main challenge is how to consistently build an audience online from scratch while balancing life. Okay, cool. Great question. There are basically 3 ways to grow an audience. The first, and I'm going to go from like worst to, well, kind of best, but they all have like pros and cons. The worst and slowest way is through social media. It is absolutely the slowest way to build an audience. It takes absolutely forever. It's not impossible. People have done it. You can do it. But you need to go and it's a lot of work. So one of the things I see a lot of people do wrong when they get on a call with me, and this is especially for like the more the newer entrepreneurs who are like under, let's say, 5-10K a month. And I don't know what it is about people now, but like they think that people think it's like no judgment. It's more about like what marketing is being put out here for people to believe this. To get clients, I have to start an Instagram account, and then I'm gonna go post quote graphics and sunrise pictures, and that's gonna get me clients. Like that shit does not work. I don't think it even worked when Instagram was like brand new. It just no. So kind of starting your own social media channels and starting from scratch is just the slowest way to do it. Social media, like I love social media. It's great for a lot of things, like nurture, building authority, building relationships, things like that. But starting from scratch, that would not be the way I would be going. The second way to grow an audience from scratch or not doesn't really matter. Growing an audience is through ads. So ads are a really, really good way to quickly test a message, to quickly get in front of a new audience, and especially you do like a much more direct ad. You can very quickly see, is the messaging I have in mind like useful, is it working, or is it not? I'm actually getting my ass kicked over here. Fuck. I need more money as well. Okay. Villagers, make some money. It's too many.
Selam.
Six people.
Satıcı.
Go. So I can go kick their ass. Okay, I really don't have money. Okay. So the second way is ads. The downside, like the pro with ads is that they can be really quick and you get data very, very quickly. The con with ads is obviously you have to pay money and not everyone has the cash flow. And when you start ads, you are going to go into cash flow trough. So, you know, you have X amount, you start doing ads, your money goes down because you're spending money, and it might take a while as you test ads before you start coming back up in profitability as you sell things. So by the way, like a side note, people keep thinking that they should use ads to build their email list. Like, okay, sure, but I'd rather use ads to get you clients instead of just building an email list. Like, let's just get you making money as soon as possible. And the third way to grow your audience is through other people's audiences. So that's something I'll be exploring and looking at. So through collaborations, podcasts are such a great platform to be on, but also like joint lives with people or like a joint webinar. You can go as simple or as complicated as you want to make this, and you can go from there. I think outreach is the other one, which I don't know if that fits under any category because it's not really social media. So I might maybe have a fourth category, which is outreach, which would then be like actually reaching out to people with an offer. I don't mean like bad cold DMs. I know we got that like, hey, do you want to hire an appointment setter? No, um,
Evet. Evet.
but there's very elegant ways that you can do outreach in that are very effective, and that not a huge amount of people are doing. So that could be something to explore as well.
Emrin.
Um,
Satıcı.
yeah, I don't know if that's
Hazır
helpful,
satıcı.
Deidre. Oh, and Deidre suggesting, hey, but what about offering just for fun a paid one-to-one gaming hour with Maggie, during which you privately answer business questions? That could be fun.
Emrin.
Stop attacking me.
Hazır. Hadi bakalım. Evet.
What else do you guys got? What else do you guys have for me?
Hadi bakalım.
How are we liking this setup? How are we liking the gaming and business chat thing? Like, should I repeat this? Should I do it more often? What are we feeling about this?
Evet.
And Lucy says that she's very good at ideation and starting, horrible at finishing, especially when I'm on my own, not part of a team that supports me and the project. Yes, I completely understand. And honestly, one solution to that could also be being part of a mastermind, with some mentorship, as well, to make sure that you are on the right track and you're getting support to finish projects. Because there's certain places, like, and I know this from like a lot of direct experience, like this is a problem I struggle with to this day.
Tamamdır.
There's a lot of tactics and strategies you can try to make sure you don't fall in that hole of
Satıcı.
starting and not finishing, because then you're just constantly frustrated with yourself of like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not finishing this? And that's really frustrating. So
Hadi
something
bakalım.
to explore and think about as well, to look at what you can have in place. And happy to chat with you as well, Lucy. You know, no pressure, no strings attached. They've got a few options as well, with how I can help.
Tamamdır.
But yeah, I'll be looking at, external accountability, long-term mentorship, people who really understand your strategy and understand like where you're going and can kind of help you along the way to stay the course. I used to coach hop. I don't know if this is like familiar. So I used to like be on all the sales pages, and every time someone was doing a launch, I was like, oh my god, like, okay, after I finish this program that I'm in, I'm gonna do that program. After do that program, I want to do like this
Does
course.
not take a genius to
Okay,
recognize
Frederick is
I
defeated.
am
Who's Frederick?
man.
Yes, Yellow Dude is defeated.
I request to
Go
resign.
to the next guy.
Tamamdır.
Oops.
Tamam. Olur. Avcı. Emrin. Hadi bakalım.
So I used to coach hop.
Evet.
Gonna go here so I don't get killed by the fortress over here.
Aisu.
Which meant that, like, I think the longest I would stay in a program would be like
Selam.
6 months probably. And the really big downside of that was I didn't really have long-term mentorship, as in every single time I would start with a new coach or a new program, it was a slightly different strategy. Even though it was all around, like, let's say how do you get more clients or whatever, or grow your online business,
Yapı ustası.
I didn't really have like that red thread throughout, because people would keep changing, and then like it was a new mentor with a new philosophy and a new approach. And I've been in the same mastermind now for over 2 years now. And it's really inspired with how I run my masterminds and how I help my clients and how I do my group coaching programs.
Hazır. Emrin.
Because I realized, like, if you're in there with me
Haydi
and I
bakalım.
know you and I know your business, it's so much easier for me to help keep you on track. And then there's so much less time that we're wasting, because you could just be like, oh, Maggie, I want to do this, and I already know the backstory of the things that you've tried and like the clients that you want to work with and where you're going and so on. So, it's just stop looking for a magic bullet. They don't exist. It's not a magic bullet. It's all a series of experiments and things that build up one on top of each other. And sometimes, sometimes there is like that one thing that changes everything. So for me, it was when I changed my business model. Like, that was the one thing that changed everything very, very quickly. I'm correct now. There we go.
Evet.
But that
Hadi bakalım.
isn't always the case, and even now, you know, there's so many things that I've like done and I've tried that like build on top of each other instead of like, oh, that was that one thing.
Evet.
And a lot of that is also just because I'm in a really long-term mentorship program that I signed up originally for a year, and you know, I've re-signed up, and it makes sense, and while it makes sense, I'm gonna stay there.
Hazır evet.
I don't know if this game's going well, really. So they're attacking, they're both attacking me now.
Evet. Tamamdır.
I need to get my castle out.
Emrin? Evet.
Let's see, my gold plantation is
Sensitive.
going
Selam.
well. I think I need some more food, possibly.
Chip.
Go over there. And no population room. Okay, cool.
Emrin. Hücum. İleri. Marş.
Any questions? Yeah, it's a shame I can't really see the comments. At least I can see them on one side of things, so that's good. Okay. Cool.
Evet. Hadi bakalım. Evet.
Here we go. I'm gonna attack those guys.
Hazır. Emrin. Hadi bakalım. Hazır. Evet.
Oh, this is not gonna go well, is it?
Evet.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay, can I very quickly level up? Probably can't,
Evet.
can I?
Tamamdır.
So, I didn't see that their fortress was right over here, and I'm now building my fortress there, so it's a good chance they're gonna
Selam.
attack my fortress
Hazır.
before I can finish building it, and that's not gonna be
Evet.
great.
Yapı ustası. Emrin.
Emrin? Oduncu. Evet.
So,
yapı
we will
ustası.
see how that goes.
Hazır.
Oh well.
Emrin. Yapı ustası.
A little bit of luck, we can make it happen. Looks positive. So yeah,
Selam.
something I'll be looking at would
Evet.
be long-term mentorship as well.
Evet. Oduncu. Selam. Hazır. Oduncu.
Okay, this is beautiful. It's so sweet. So Lucy, I definitely want to work with you and stay with you long term because I'm following you for a very long time and love you. That's very sweet. I just haven't been able to catch up with you in terms of my growth, so I still can't afford you as the gap grows. Well, my prices are not on my website, and there's a few options I have to work with me to make sure things are the right fit. So I would just be like, let's have a
Selam.
conversation.
Hazır.
No strings attached. If it's not the right time, it's not the right time. That's totally cool.
Oduncu.
But I also believe that, you know, you need to be informed of where you do want to go and when you get, like, what does it actually look like when you get there, and like, what does the plan look like to help you get there? So that's something I can help you with as well, like, on a call, and I really don't mind. Like, I love doing this stuff, and like my goal in life really is to help as many people, especially women, as possible, you know, get the freedom of choice, and that's part of it. So let's see. And I think something to think about as well, and I've really been in this situation. If this is not your case, that's totally fine. Just for anyone who's kind of like listening and watching, there's a bit of a catch-22 that happens as well. And I'm not saying, oh my gosh, you should invest blindly and take the leap whenever. Like, that's not what I'm saying. A lot of people say that, which I think, no. But there's a bit of a catch-22 as well, and I've had this before. And I had this actually when I joined my mastermind. Because the mastermind I'm part of was a massive investment. And it is a massive investment. And when I was thinking about joining, I actually said to my husband, Michael, okay, this sounds really cool. It sounds like exactly what I need. I'm going to join in like 6 months. I'm going to save up a little bit more, and I'm going to join when I'm ready. And I'm getting my ass kicked. Thankfully, Michael stood next to me. He was like, no, you need to make this investment. He was literally like, we were like standing actually over here, like next to my desk. or behind my desk, and he was like, he was jumping up and down, saying, "You have to make this investment. You have to make this investment. Like, this is going to make you grow. Because if you wait, you're just staying stuck in that same situation for longer, and you're not going to be able to catch up because you right now don't know what you're doing wrong, and you don't know what you should be doing to get to that next level. And if you join even before you don't think you're ready, even before you think you're ready, that will give you the shortcut." And again, it really depends on the person and the coach or the master of the program, whatever. Like, this is not a blanket statement, but this is very much my experience, and I've had clients tell me the same thing, that they wanted to wait and they ended up just taking the leap, and because of that they got the shortcuts much faster. So it's also just thinking about, if I keep doing what I'm doing, where will I be 6 months from now? And am I happy with that? Like, for me right now, I'm like, if I keep doing what I'm doing, where will I be 6 months from now? I'm like, hell yes, like, bring it on, let's make that happen. I'm super confident with all things I'm doing right now. But that's also because I'm like,
I must say,
in
it is a
very
pleasure to see
closely
your
held
soldiers
in-
take to their heels.
Emrin? You do have it.
this is like a concentration challenge, not gonna lie. I'm closely held in a mentorship program, and thank God my husband had the conviction and belief in me and that investment to convince, because he had to convince me. Like, I was like this, because I was like, oh, I'm not ready, I have to save up, and I'm not ready for it yet. I ended up making that investment. At the time, I was doing 10-15K a month as a one-to-one coach. I was booked out. I had like a migraine for 6 weeks straight. It just wasn't really great.
Have it.
Team of 7 people, not really living the life I wanted to live. I joined that. That was the catalyst that made me shift my business model, because I realized, oh, here's here's actually where I want to be, and I'm doing all these things that are actually pushing me that way, and I didn't see it. Same way I didn't even see, and I shared this with you guys earlier, I didn't see that I left like the video game and fantasy stuff. I didn't even realize I had stopped doing it, because it was a very like subconscious thing because of that one conversation I had. And it took my mastermind, my mentor, shining a mirror up for me and being like, hey, actually this is what's happening. When I realized that myself. So here's what happened. I joined, made the decision. I was like, fine, I'm gonna join because Michael convinced me to. Was making 10-15K a month. 2 months later, I had a $73,000 a month. 3 months after that, I had $124,000 a month. And that is because of that mastermind and that mentor, and just taking that leap and shifting things. So again, not saying that's the case for you. Not saying you know, I don't know. We've not even had a conversation yet, so we need to make sure it's a good fit both ways. But my belief, at least, is have the talk before you think you're ready, and then kind of go from there, because that, at least that way, you have a plan, and you know, here's what that would look like, here's what that would give me, when do I want to do that or take advantage or whatever. So that was my very, very roundabout answer to that. I hope that was helpful to give you some insight. Like, I always think it's really helpful to like share to see people's thought processes. That's probably why I like sharing mine. Because I want to see like how their brain works. Because my goal for my clients as well is it's not just, I don't just want to help you like do the thing, or, like, get more clients or do your group coaching program or whatever. I lost my train of thought. It's like when you have ADHD and you're trying to do like this multitasking thing. No idea what I was saying. What was I saying? I don't know. I'll come back for it. Maybe there was that. Something about the pulse, I think. Yeah. What's the thing? Sharing thought processes. I think. What's the thing? Oh, got it. Oh, it's exact. So I think there's a lot of people who, like, I want to teach you how not just to do something or just to get a result, but how to think like a strategist. So that's why I really like sharing like my thought processes, or like, you know, why I make certain decisions or how I make certain decisions and how that works like in my head, so that I can show you how to think more strategically so that you can make those decisions yourself. Because I don't really want to craft like codependency in my programs or with my clients as well. It's really important to me that you feel confident making your own decisions and that you're not relying on, let's say, my validation for stuff. Thank you, Jack. This is super fun. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your great questions. Good food for thought as well. Okay, so I think we are almost getting ready to take over this. I think we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Alright, so I'm gonna go start taking over those guys. I need to make some. I need another artillery. I need some housing. My population max. And we can go. Any other questions? Anything you want to talk about or discuss? You can just like shoot some words out at me and kind of go from there as well. If there isn't anything in particular, one of the things I have been thinking about a lot is kind of the changes in the industry right now. A lot of people have been. A client mentioned it yesterday. She said the big R word that no one wants to talk about and everyone's talking about. And I think a lot of it is like kind of fear-mongering, to be very honest. And now that it's like, obviously it's important, you have to be aware of it, and certain things you know you should have in place and things that you should be doing to protect yourself, to protect your business, to protect your clients, and so on. And you know what will happen if your revenue drops by 30%, and what will happen if it drops by 50%? What about 10%? And just like making sure you are protected in different areas and you have those plans that are like backed up. But at the same time, I also think that, because I've seen this myself, yeah, like if I spend too much time on Instagram, I start panicking. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing that. Should I be doing that? And that's a cool idea, and I haven't done that before. And I start really getting into my head about all the things I feel like I should be doing, and I'm not doing, which obviously can get really dangerous because that's not a great way to live your life, and that will not really help you, you know, get to your goals either. I'm gonna first destroy this fort, and then I'm gonna go take over that town. Actually, looks pretty good. How are you liking this game, by the way, for the future? Because I had a few game options I had in mind. Do we like this game, Age of Empires? Should I play a different game? I wanted to kind of have a combination of something like, again, it can't be too intense because I really need to like to concentrate and talk and answer questions. But at the same time, you know, I don't really want it to be Tetris either. So what can I do that's a bit of a nice mix between the two? Just have a quick look. Can't see questions on Twitch. Oh, there we go. Now I see Dylan. I see you. See your comments. Yeah. So I play Age of Empires, and yes, they are. I always play Turkey. Because with Turkey, Turkey spawns villagers. See, like they just like pop up randomly, which is really great because then I can build like my village army for resources, and then go kick everyone's ass after that. So that's what I like to do. So she said, Dylan asked, what do you think about focusing on one platform? I think focusing solely on one platform is pretty dangerous. I think it can fairly easily backfire on you.
Evet.
So
Ready march.
I don't know if I would suggest actually focusing on one platform. I think that if you have, so I would I would always say repurpose everything. Yeah. So even if like your one platform, let's say, is Instagram or it's LinkedIn. I mean, I think LinkedIn is probably more powerful than Instagram.
Selam.
Although, unless like you are a really prolific content creator, you can do really well on Instagram. Like if you really enjoy like making the reels and like doing the videos and doing all those things, it can be really good. But Instagram is never a platform I would recommend for people like starting out from scratch to start with.
Emrin.
Instagram. If that makes sense. So I think that take like a core platform and try to repurpose. Definitely focus on the email list because that ultimately is where your power is and where you can have the most impact, where you can have the most control, because that is the one place where you actually like you own this. You can like literally go into email marketing now and download the CSV file of your email list and then save it on your computer and you have a backup. And then if your email provider gets shut down, you can take that CSV file and you can go to a different platform. Like there's ways around that you can't really do with like Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. So I would definitely be looking at
Emrin.
whatever platform you're focusing on. How can you make sure that you have control over it? How can you make sure you're moving people
Evet.
off of that platform onto your email list as much as possible? That's my recommendation. And I think platform-wise,
Hazır.
whatever works. Like I feel people always think like, oh, like I get this question a lot, like, oh, what's the one platform I should be on, or like, should I be on Instagram, or should I be doing this? And like, doesn't really matter. You need to be able to use that platform regularly for content as well as for engagement, and you need to be able to. It needs to be a place for like you to be able to actually find your clients. Like, are your clients actually using that platform? Now, ultimately, if they're not on that platform, it doesn't make sense to use that platform. Because it's not about you and you having fun, it's about you showing your clients how you can help them. And that's kind of how things go. And like, I know plenty of people who don't use social media and they have multi-7-figure businesses or 8-figure businesses, and they don't use social media.
Hazır. Hücum.
Just saying. It's you know, I feel like a lot of us are, you know, almost brainwashed into thinking about this. And it's like, it's so important to not be in an echo chamber, right? And that's really dangerous, and it's really easy. Like if you're on Facebook, like I know at one point, when I started in the online world, like I was saying to like my husband, like, oh, I'm getting like this client or like whatever or so and so, and he was just like, you're all in the same circles. You're all just hiring each other. Like
Hazır. Hadi
there's a
bakalım.
bigger world out here than just that. Which is a really good point.
Evet. Hücum.
So I think that's just also something to just think about.
Emrin. My armies.
Okay, Avon is
crushed.
gone.
My
Avon the
town
Terrible is
utterly
done.
ruined. It is
Cool.
hopeless.
So we've got
I
Purple
must
Dude to
offer
think about.
my surrender.
Purple Dude, let's go destroy his fortress, and once we destroy his fortress and we destroy his town, we have won the game, which would be awesome. Woohoo! Okay, Lucy has some questions. She says, what do you feel and see is really important to people? It seems to me that feeling a sense of personal connection is more important than ever, and that is what is missing in this scarcity-fueled world of fear right now. Lucy, I completely agree with that, and that is one of the reasons I am doing this stream. Like, genuinely. I was like, how can I feel more connected to my potential clients? There are people who are watching my content, there are people who are reading it, there are people who are like either actively messaging me and like saying, hey, you know, someone literally messaged me this morning and said like, hey, I know I'm gonna work with you one day. I'm like literally just watching your stuff, and I was like, well, wait, we should just talk, and you know, no strings attached, like what I've kind of said here. Let's just have that conversation and like see when we can make that happen and how I can help and get on the same page. And if not, then not. That's fine.
Hazır.
And it
Evet.
really comes down to personal connection. So, like, is it about being seen as an expert and being seen as authority and teaching and showing value? Yes, it is, and that's a big part. But at the same time, it's also about looking at how can you show up as a genuine human being, and how can
Haydi
you
bakalım. Evet. Hücum.
make an actual connection to your client. So obviously what I'm doing here is not for everyone. I mean, like, if I,
Hazır.
this is not really a strategy I recommend to my clients. Hey, you should also like streaming on like Twitch and like live video and playing video games while talking to your clients. Like, I think this strategy works for me because it's something I do anyway and it's fun for me, and I was just like, hey, cool, like, why not? But part of the reason I'm doing this, and it's not like a talking head live stream, or it's not like I don't have slides and I'm like teaching you something. And I had a few bullet points from like questions people asked me. It's like, okay, cool. If there are no questions, I can talk about these topics.
Hadi bakalım.
But part of that was like, hey, how do I get more connected?
İleri marş.
How can I show more of my personality? And that is then in combination with the like teaching content I'm doing. So I'm doing a webinar next week. So free training, possibly on standing out in a saturated market. Let me know what you think of that. I'm still testing out what the topic should be. I quite like that. It's something that kind of feels very timely to discuss. But one of the big things that came out of my, my multi-seven-figure mastermind in Miami recently was now it is all about connection. So I'm like a huge fan of automations. Like, I have a chronic illness. I struggle with that. So even if you see me like showing up, live, that doesn't mean that, I always feel super well, or maybe I felt like really poorly that day. That just happens. But automations in combination with a very genuine human touch. I think that is a big difference as well for people, that it's not just about, an automated whatever and an ad and like things just like work like magic. It's about how do you show your clients, like how do you actually care about people and how do you get people to care about you. And that, I think, is going to help you not just stand out, but you really also become the only option for your clients. Because if people connect with you as a human being and they just want to work with you, they're not really going to care what's inside your programs. They just want to work with you. And if we're talking about like, scarcity fueled time and like the big R word and all that stuff, then I would be thinking about how can I create a closer bond with my clients, potential clients. How can I create a closer connection with people? If you're doing a lot of text posts, like how can you change it up with like adding podcasting or video or audio or like stuff in the post, which is something I do as well. Again, it's about connection. How can you connect? So I think that's really, Lucy brought up a really good point. Yeah, I think you brought up a really good point, and I completely agree with you. And I think right now it is very much about
Evet.
connection,
Selam.
really, and that's the big question for you.
Avcı. Evet.
It's not just about visibility now; it's also about how do you
Emre.
build true connection with your clients or with your audience, and
Avcı.
how do you stand out? How do you become known? How do you
Emrin. Oduncu.
not be, boring, basic, whatever, but
İleri marş.
really have something that's a bit more special to offer to people. And that doesn't have to involve, doing a
Perhaps
gaming
I
live
can
stream.
at least retrieve some dignity.
Who is
out
the Queen of
this
the Universe?
debacle. Kind sir, will you accept
Who is the Queen
my
of the
surrender?
Universe? Okay, so with that being said, victory is mine. Thank you for joining me for this live. Let me know if you liked it. Should I repeat this? Should it be a regular thing? Let me know. Next time I'll make sure all my tech is sorted, which it was sorted, but I switched tech last minute. to make sure you can read all the comments at the same time, which I wasn't able to this time, but we worked it out anyway. And next week, I'm doing a webinar, so free training, most likely on standing out in a saturated market. I will pop the comment around here once that is ready. And if you are thinking about getting to your next level and you want to have a chat about how I can help you do that, what I'll do on this call is I'll help you map out what could your revenue of your business look like and what is standing between you and getting more clients in the way you want to live a sustainable, freedom-filled life. It's not easy, but it is simple, and I want to give you the shortcuts that I wish I had 3 years ago. So thank you all for joining me. I'm now going to figure out how to switch this stuff off. And I will see you next time. Bye. Okay, now how do I switch this off? Here we go. Stop streaming.